generation.
Exactly. You've recently been to Antarctica. I followed your trip there, and I followed your trip to Nepal as well. And you said something very important in your speech today, where you refer to the fact that even though these places are in two different parts of the world on our planet, they're experiencing a very rapid, change in climate with the glacier melt and the melting of the ice, and how that impacts everyone everywhere.
Well, starting by Antarctica. Antarctica and Greenland, because Greenland is also a huge ice mass over land. It's not just ice over water, it's Iceland over land. So when it melts, the sea level rises. Antarctica and Greenland are melting 3 times faster than in the 90s. And with melting ice, you have rising sea levels. And with rising sea levels, you have all the consequences that you can imagine for coastal areas. But Antarctica is also, because Antarctica was separated from South America, and when Antarctica got separated from South America, a lot of strong currents, the strongest currents that we have in the world are around Antarctica, and then they spread all over the world, and they are regulators of the climate all over the world. And they are slowing down because the water is becoming warmer and becoming less salty. So this could have devastating consequences in relation to climate changes in different parts of the world. What happens in Antarctica doesn't stay in Antarctica, can be seen everywhere else. But in Nepal, I saw the glaciers retreating. These have now consequences in relation to floods, in relation to devastation of communities, because there is more water coming out of these glaciers. But as the glaciers retreat, one day there will be no more glacier to melt. And these glaciers are the glaciers that are feeding rivers like the Indus, the Ganges, and the Brahmaputra. Of course, there will be other sources of water, the monsoons, but this means these rivers will have in 10, 15 years less water.
Now, they already have less
these
water.
Rivers are facing rising sea levels, and they have deltas that are very low. Millions and millions of people could be displaced in India, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh. So when we see the glaciers melting in the Himalayas, it's not only the Himalayas that are to be considered, it's all the impact in South Asia and all the devastating consequences that can happen. And so we must look into these clear signals of nature telling us, change your course, stop your madness, or we will strike back on you.
And we are striking back.
And we will lose. Yeah. I mean, nature, when nature strikes back, it can be devastating.
And it is. We're witnessing it everywhere.
It is already devastating.
It's happening.
But the problem is that if we don't stop this evolution that we are witnessing, and of course, the reason why we are here in the COP is to stop it, and we have the technologies that allow us to stop it. Renewable energy is now much cheaper than fossil fuel energy. We have electric cars that are easy to produce. I mean, there are lots of things are changing. We can decarbonize much more quickly than in the past, so we can stop this madness. But if we don't,